Hi guys, I hope everyone is well, and I'm so sorry about the live feed. Me and Julandi were very excited to have our live feed and share all our knowledge with you guys, but unfortunately our signals didn't want to connect. So yeah, here we are, we're doing a video for you guys, so at least we can all still learn and see what's happening and learn about toning, blending, formulations, and then obviously complexions and face shapes and all of that. So yeah, let's get started. So one of the first questions Yolandi was going to ask me is, what is pre-toning and why is it necessary? So pre-toning is definitely something that is not used in a lot of salons. I feel like it's necessary for us to do it because we just need to have a better and be confident in getting a better end result. So what pre-toning basically is after you've rinsed your lightener, pre-toning is just to remove all your underlying pigments of the hair before you tone it into the desired level that you want. So think of it as prepping a wall. Like you would sugar wash your wall, you would paint it white, and then you will put on your color that you want. So it's exactly the same thing. You will basically create a formulation that will remove all the unwanted pigments from the hair, and then from there it just gives you a blank canvas to work on, and then just do your natural or your desired tone that you want. What do we use to pre-tone or tone the hair, and how do we know what to mix? So I feel we've got two options. If your client's hair lifted to a clean level 9 or 10, I think it's safe to say that you can pre-tone with the Matrix Total Results Silver Shampoo. Leave it on for about 2 to 10 minutes, but please just check regularly, because the porosity of the hair, if it's very porous, then it might grab the pigment quite quickly. So just be sure to check on it regularly and not just leave it on for the whole 10 minutes without checking. So the other option we have is, in Matrix we do have our demi color range called the Color Sync, which is amazing for toning and for first time color users and all of that. So definitely to pre-tone and tone the hair, we can use the Matrix Color Sync and the activator that goes with it. So your pre-tone will definitely consist of your neutralizing formula. This is where your blank canvas will be created, and this is also a very, very important part of your back to basics. And then we will definitely have to know our underlying pigments and yeah, the law of color, obviously. And then we all went through this, so this definitely brings us back to basics and letting us think more about what we mix when we pre-tone people's hair. So yeah, that is what you will mix for your pre-tone. Your toner, you will obviously mix, let's say you are going for a ash color. Okay, so after you've pre-toned and neutralized your client's hair, then after that you rinse your pre-toner. After that you definitely go in with your Matrix Color Sync ash toner or ash tone, which you decide on, and then leave that on for 10 to 20 minutes. Also, just again, please just keep on checking your toner, because obviously some parts of the hair might grab pigment more than what the other parts would. So let's chat about some toning mistakes and some solutions that we can keep in mind. Guys, we're all human and we all make mistakes, and unfortunately that is just the way we learn. And I guess that when we do make mistakes, it's a lesson learned in a hard way. So I'm just going to mention a few. I feel there's a lot of mistakes that can happen and that we can prevent, but I'm just going to mention a few because we might sit here the whole day. Okay, so one of the big ones I feel is definitely the formula that you mix. So if your client's hair only lifted to a level 9, you will only mix in a level 9 or darker. Do not go to a level 10. So if you mix the wrong level, it might neutralize your hair or your client's hair slightly, but your desired tone will definitely not be measured. Your toner will wash out quickly, and then also your natural underlying pigment of a level 9 will definitely show up quicker than what it's supposed to. Okay, so formulating is a very, very important one. Stick to the level that it lifts to. Okay, so another thing I feel a lot of us do, and I know we all busy and we all need to squeeze clients in and we're all in a rush all the time, but rushing your toner development time is a no-no, guys. So at least leave your toner on for 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, so the longer you allow your toner to develop, the longer your toner will last and your desired tone will be reached. So basically that is what it is. So if you do not leave your toner on for the full length of time, obviously your toner won't last as long. And then also, again, another thing that I just want to mention, I say 10 to 20 minutes because I feel like a lot of us, when we tone, we need to check on our toner regularly. So I always check after 5 minutes. Your porosity of your client's hair has got a very, very big impact on your toner. So I always leave it from 10 to 20 minutes, but there is a few cases that I have rinsed my client's toner after 5 minutes because of the porosity of the hair. So, but the full 10 to 20 minutes is definitely the recommended time to leave it on for, and then that's very important. So we need to just keep that in mind. Okay, so a very big one is some of us tend to tone with permanent color. So as amazing as our So Color Beauty range is, we do not tone with So Color Beauty. We go for the Color Sync range, and then we also have the activator that goes with our Color Sync range. This is a deposit only, so there's no lift, no nothing in the hair when you tone the hair. If you do go in with a permanent color, it will definitely lift your client's natural hair, and then yeah, that's just gonna go haywire from there. So we don't want to have any lifts from natural hair to oranges and all of that. So it will definitely alter your hair. Right, so another thing, when applying your toner, right, so most of us, we just slap on the toner, which is great. If you feel confident in your client's porosity of her hair, that's great. Then you just put on the toner straight through, go for it, leave it on, and just wait for the time to get over and rinse. But if you feel that your clients, let's say your client's ends are very porous, then you will definitely tone the roots first, leave it on for a little bit, and then pull it through onto the ends for the last few minutes. But also keeping in mind, you need to keep on checking on your toner. because of the porosity grabs a lot of the color very, very quickly. So yeah, that is very important. So tone on the less porous area first and then apply the toner to the porous area. So please guys, just keep that in mind. You don't want to have an uneven tone in the hair if your hair actually lifted to a clean level. Okay, and then yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and we need to also remember guys, we need to educate our clients on the misuse of silver shampoo. So silver shampoo is very important, especially for our clients from about a level 8, 9 and 10 to use a silver shampoo. Right, so Matrix has got an amazing shampoo, the Matrix Total Results Silver Shampoo. But we just need to educate our clients not to use it every single time they wash their hair. So we need to educate them because we need them to understand that it can stain their hair and it might alter their next color session. So yeah, so just tell them and educate them on telling them how to alternate between their silver shampoo and their regular shampoo, which would also hopefully be a color in salon or a salon color salon shampoo, my bad. A salon shampoo. Yeah, so please guys, that is also very important. Keep that in mind. And as I said, if there's anyone that has any other questions regarding toning, the mistakes or something, you are more than welcome to just message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. How often do you need to tone? So this is a tricky one. Generally, I would say 3 to 4 weeks. Your client needs to come in for a toner touch-up. You do not have to go in and lighten their hair again and have them sit there for 4 hours. They just need to come in every 3 to 4 weeks for a toner. But again, porosity of the hair, if their hair is very porous, their hair might, or their toner might wash out in 2 weeks time. So let's just also educate our clients. Again, communication with your client is very, very important. So let's educate our clients. Just let us tell them, listen, a toner is not a permanent thing. So toner does wash out. This is normal. Everyone knows that. To maintain the hair, we can advise them to use a silver shampoo or your Matrix Total Results brass off shampoo, depending on the natural underlying pigment. You can tell them to use that. That will definitely help, but the toner does wash out. We really need to educate our clients on that. It's important to know that toner is not permanent. You don't want your client coming back or phoning you, or just a client staying away just because you didn't tell them that toner washes out. So I get a lot of clients that sit in my chair and tell me, oh my gosh, but my color only lasted like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever the case may be. But it's purely because the previous hairdresser did not tell them that the toner is not permanent. There's also a lot of salons that don't use toners, which I feel is sad, because toners is really important to get your desired result, to make your clients happy. So yeah, normally 3 to 4 weeks. But other than that, just let your client know. If you know your client has got porous hair, tell them, listen, just let me know, be in contact with me regarding what your hair is doing. So if your client's hair washes out within the first 2 washes, Okay, fine. Just tell your client, listen, this can happen. So, yeah, just be open and honest with your clients. So, let's chat about some tips and tricks of the trade of toning and lightening the hair. Right, so we all know when we lift the hair, doesn't matter what technique we use, we normally mix our matrix light master with our developer with a ratio of 1 to 2. So when my client comes in and she's got very porous hair, she's got even hair, like an even tone, but it's porous, and then also, I must be honest, some types of curly hair as well. Not all types, but more the coarse and porous types of hair. I like to mix my ratio 1 to 1.5 because it seems to keep the moisture in the foil. So this will just basically prevent your dry spotting, and then obviously your dry spotting causes warmth in the hair. So instead of opening up your foil and seeing, oh my gosh, there's like a warm spot in my foil or on my highlight or hair, you basically, instead of going back in with your developer or your lightener, you won't have to do that, because the 1 to 1.5 seems to just keep the moisture in the hair. Also very important is your saturation of your foil or inside your foil, and also when you do a freehand balayage or whatever the case may be, you want your saturation to be properly. You do not want to be able to see through the hair. Do not be scared of product. So I know product is expensive and we all want to save on product, but guys, if you want your best results for your client, it's really, really important that your saturation is good. It's just there for better lift, better results, and then most of all, an even lift. Okay. Right, so when I sometimes use the slicing technique, which is basically just a slice of hair without weaving it in a foil, when I want to use, let's say, more than 6 millimeters, if I want quite a heavy thick slice, I will definitely not take the whole 6 millimeters and slap on my developer and lightener. I will definitely maybe go to, sometimes depending on how thick you want your slice, to 3 back-to-back micro slices. So it's very important to know that the thinner your section, the better, and the more even your lift is. So rather go in and do 2 back-to-back foils instead of 1 big foil. Okay, so guys, it's also very, very important to measure when you mix your toner or your lightener. You can't just get yourself a scale. Don't go in and just be guessing, I'm putting in 5 grams of lightener and I'm just guessing how much of developer I'm putting in. No, guys, it's very important for us to formulate correctly, just for obvious reasons. For our best, we want to have a best outcome for our client as well. So if you don't have a scale in your salon, guys, they're really not expensive. So I actually bought mine at Game and it was like 100 and something rand. So guys, please be sure to measure your formulas, and yeah, it's very, very important. So another trick, not a trick, actually just a tip that I like to use is, sometimes if your client comes in and she's got a 6-month regrowth, right, but she's blonde or blondish on the ends, let's call it a level 8, but she wants to be a level 10. So you're not going to go in with a 30 volume and pull it straight through. Those ends are not going to survive at all. So you will go, I'll normally then mix my two different developers strengths. I'll go in with, let's call it a 30 volume on the roots, and then a 10 volume, 10 or 20 volume, depending on how much lift you want on the ends. So please keep that in mind. That's just a small trick that I like to use, because I know a lot of clients, again, coming in my chair, seeing that their ends are just snapping off. It's because of over processing. Yeah, so it's really important for us to know that we don't have to take a 30 volume or 40 volume or whatever volume you're using and pulling it straight through to the ends. You can and you have to mix your different formulas. It's very important. Okay, right, so then also just I want to go through our 4 basic rules of color. This is my last tip, and for matrix, this is our go-to, and also again back to basics. So number 1, we definitely want to determine what your client's natural level is at. So you doing this, we use the bump method, the bump up method. If any of you don't know what the bump up method is, also just message me or DM me. I will gladly help you guys to just explain to you what the bump up method is. But yeah, so number 2, we want to determine the level that you wish to achieve. So let's say your client's a natural level 5, and your client wants to be at a level 7. So that's step number 2. You are determining what level your client wants to be at. Number 3, determine the tone that your client desires. So your client wants to go from a level 5 to a level 7, but she wants to be a ash level 7. So that is the tone that you are wanting to create. So then lastly, then you will determine your volume of developer needed. So if you want to jump up from a level 5 to a level 7, you will use a developer, 20 volume developer, 20 to 30, sometimes also depending on the resistance and the porosity of the hair. So yeah, guys, those are the 4 basic rules. Determine the natural level, determine the level you want, determine the tone you want, and then determine the level of developer that you are going to mix with your color. How do we decide what is the best features to highlight, and how do we decide on the technique that you're going to use? So this basically comes back to your consultation. Consultation is definitely key. If I say that, I always think of Haley. Consultation is key. Guys, so consultation is just basically communicating with your client. If your client can afford or don't have any time to go to the salon, and she wants to go a platinum blonde level 10, then obviously that requires a lot of maintenance. So we are not going to advise our clients on doing that, because they need to come in every 3 to 4 weeks for a toner, number 1, and then keeping up the roots and all of that. So it's important to just communicate with your client. The best features also, we keep in mind the face shapes. So with color, that is quite important. But I'll go more into that when we do my model and when we discuss that. So we will go into the face shapes and how to highlight and create depth in certain areas for certain face shapes. It's not always, obviously the cut is very important as well for your face shape, but color is also a very big a thing for when you consider what features you want to highlight. So your skin tone is also one of the biggest ones. So we want to know whether you are a cool or a warm skin tone. So we will also again go more into the warm and the cool skin tones and how to determine that in a later discussion with when I do my client's hair. So from there, basically, obviously you will also take in consideration your client's condition of the hair and what will be best. So again, if your client has got ends that is just snapping off, you will not recommend a full head of highlights or foils or whatever the case may be. You will definitely just communicate with your client and just tell your client, like, listen, it's not the best way to you don't think it's like right for your hair. I mean, you don't want to compromise your client's hair. At the end of the day, you want your client to be happy, you want your client to recommend you to other people, and you want your client to ultimately come back. So with that, all those information, if you just communicate in your consultation, you take all that information and basically that's just going to tell you how you are going to color the hair and what technique you are going to use for that. So I'm not going to go in and give examples because again I'm going to use my model as an example, but that's also why it's very important for us to strive and be passionate about color, because we need to get invited by to do our Matrix Color Masters course. So you learn all about these things, the extensive knowledge, the craft that goes into it, the everything you learn in Matrix artistry. It's just amazing. You get to connect, you get to share ideas with like-minded professionals, with creative professionals, all of that. So yeah, it's just an amazing opportunity to get chosen to do your color masters. So yeah, guys, any questions on any features and stuff that you guys want to know about? As I said, I will chat about my clients' features and how we're going to highlight and create depth and all of that for my client's complexion and the face shape. But if you have specific questions, please again, do not hesitate to message me and I will get back to your questions. A very good question, I think, is how do we know that blonde will suit our clients? Blonde suits everyone. So it just depends on the tone of blonde that we are creating for the client. So this will come down to the skin tone of the client and also sometimes the eye color of the client. So mostly the skin tone. So if you have a cool tone client, you will opt more for ashy blondes, beige blondes, sandy blondes, baby blondes, all in those cooler blondes. And then obviously if your client is warm toned, you will definitely think of maybe using multi-tonal blondes of warmer blondes, maybe some honey blondes or caramel blondes, depending on the the fairness of your client's of her skin tone. With the warmer tones, I like to play around with tones of blonde. You can do a solid tone of blonde, but I like to play around with like from level 7s to level 9s or 10s. I feel like the warmer blondes and the warmer tones just works well together like that. Another question you may ask is, how do we know if our client is blonde or, cool or warm toned? So this is quite an easy one. An easy option for us is to just look at our veins on our wrists. So if you look at your veins and your veins are blue, then blue or purple, if it's got a purpley tinge to it, then we're going to definitely say that you are cool toned. If you look at your veins and you're like, okay, my vein is green, it looks green to me, then you definitely a warm toned, you definitely have a warm toned complexion. If you can't really make out between a blue and a green or purple, then definitely you are neutral, which is actually best because you get best of both worlds. A cooler tone and a warmer tone will definitely suit you. So guys, don't let anyone tell you that, oh my gosh, you can't make your client blonde, because blonde does suit every client. It just depends on the tone of blonde that you are going to put on your client's hair. I think this is a question that all of us has been waiting for, is some of our secret formulas and favorite formulas that we like to tone with. So all of you that uses Matrix, this is an amazing opportunity to write this down. This is a lot of times this is our go-to tonings. I'm not talking about color corrections or anything like that. These are just our favorite blonding toners that we like. So obviously all our toners that we use is from our Demi range, our Matrix Color Sync range. It's not mixed with a developer. It's got its own activator, which is amazing because you have absolutely, it's a demi color, so you don't have any lift on the hair when you tone it, on the natural hair, when you tone. It's just amazing. It leaves, it's like it's easy to apply mixture. It's really amazing, guys. If you haven't tried it in your salons, please ask your the owner of the salon or the manager to just get in a few of the Matrix Color Sync toners just to try it out and play around with it. The consistency of it is amazing. It's easy to apply. It's just the tones that you get out of it, it's always just comes out the way that you expect it to. So keeping in mind it's a color sync range and we mix it with activator. One of my personal favorites at the moment is the Color Sync SPV and a drop of the Blue Booster. Okay, another one of my favorites is the 10mm and the 10V. Another one is equal parts mixed 10A, 10V and 8P. Equal parts 8A and 8V. SPGV on its own is a very beautiful color as well. 10V and Berry Violet is also quite a good one. And then also a very nice one is a 10G and a 10A, equal parts, and then also equal parts 10V and 8P. So there you have it, some amazing toners to go and try out, and a good reason to tell your hairdresser or your not your hairdresser, your owner, to just like try out the Matrix Color Sync range because it is just amazing to tone with. I will definitely never ever ever in my life have another toning range. This is where the fun is gonna start, guys. So before I bring my clients in and before I start with my clients, I'm just going to give you the lowdown on what my client's complexion is, what her face shape is, and how I'm going to use, what techniques I'm going to use to highlight certain features, and yeah, just basically give you the lowdown on what I'm going to do. Afterwards, I am going to bring my clients in. I'm going to then not really talk on the thing. So if you have any questions while I'm doing the color and the highlights, please again, do not hesitate to just message me if you have any questions or anything. Okay, so my client definitely has a cool undertone, so I'm going to opt for cooler brown, medium blonde. Actually, I'm going in for a level 7, round about there. My client's natural pigment is my client's natural level is a level 5, so I'm going to go in with mixing a level 7 and a level 8, but we will get to the mixing and why just now. Okay, so opting for cooler tones, we're going for a cooler brown, and we're going for some cooler lighter bits in the hair. My client's got I would say she's got a bit of a square face. Okay, so, and she's also got a beautiful elongated neck. The technique I will use is a variation of micro slicing, so I'm not going to go in back-to-back slicing, except in the front section I'm going to do back-to-back micro foils or baby lights if we want to talk hairdressing language. We're going to go in for back-to-back baby lights in the front around the hairline, but I'm talking about micro slicing. I'm not going to go for back-to-back slicings in any sections at the back or around the head. I'm going to do slicing. I'm going to do some baby teasy lights, and then I'm also going to be doing a few foliage, and then after all those lightening techniques, I'm going to go in with the Matrix So Color Beauty Permanent Color. So my client has got more than 50% of gray. So as I mentioned, her natural level is a level 5, but she's got more than 50% gray. So I'm going to opt for using the Matrix So Color Beauty 500 series, which is just basically an extra coverage in our range. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating lights on top and of the sides of the head to create the illusion of an oval face shape. So let me just quickly explain this a little bit. So I drew a little picture here for you guys. So let's say my client's got a square face shape, right? The oval face shape is definitely the ideal face shape that we are striving to create. So with this being said, wherever we put lighter bits, it's going to highlight and make it look lighter and accentuate that part. So with that being said, I'm going to add lightness on the top and on the sides, because you want to accentuate your square face to create the illusion of an oval face. So lightness on the top and on the sides is amazing, but also keeping in mind my client's got a beautiful elongated neck, so the bottom pieces here I'm not going to highlight, because we do not want to highlight her, even though her neck is beautifully elongated. We do not want to highlight that. We are going to the bottom pieces of the hair. I'm going to keep into the darker tone to kind of give a bit of depth there. So also where I am going to give a bit of depth is also around this area here, which is basically these sections here. And then also where I'm going to create a little bit of depth with my darker color is around these sections. I don't know, can you guys see? Around these sections here. So lightness here, but creates a bit of movement and depth on the side. So all of this will basically just give your clients the illusion of a oval face shape. Please note that this is only for a square face. Again, if you get invited to do your color master course, you will get to learn all about this amazing techniques and things that you can use to accentuate your client's features. So, but again, if there's any of you that have any questions regarding other face shapes and how to highlight that, you guys are also more than welcome to just message me. Yeah, more than welcome to help out there. Right, so yeah, oh, another thing is I am going to use diagonal placements of all my techniques, because I just feel that it definitely creates movement in the hair, and it also creates the illusion of roundness. Okay, so diagonal, vertical is obviously going this way all over the head. Horizontally we normally do there. Diagonally is basically just doing it at an angle. Okay, but you guys will see it in the video while I'm doing my client's hair. As I said, I'm going to section her hair. I will zoom into how I section the hair, and then from there I'm just going to leave, I'm not really going to talk, and then I'm going to just do the client's hair. And then if there's any questions that you guys want to know why I did something, or how, or whatever question you might have, you guys are more than welcome to just ask me. Right, so I am going to just explain what in my next video I'm just going to explain what I'm going to mix for my clients. I've already pre-mixed everything, but I am just going to tell you what I mixed and why I mixed it. As I mentioned before, my client has got more than 50% of grey in her hair. At the back she's still got her natural level showing, about level 4, level 5 natural. So the underlying pigment of a level 4, level 5 is red. So we need to now neutralize the red. Okay, so what I've got here, I hope everyone can see. So my client's natural level is a level 4. Okay, what I am going to mix is I'm mixing the So Color Beauty 500 series, because that is just for extra coverage. I just feel it's also a permanent color, so I just feel that will cover the hair much better. So I'm going in with a 508 Natural Ash and a 507 G. So the natural underlying pigment of, the underlying pigment of the 508 Natural Ash is definitely a green and blue. Your underlying pigment of your 507 G is yellow. So if you mix all of these two colors together with a ratio of 1:1, you will get green. So this is a correct formula if I just want to have a natural brown. But as I've mentioned, we are opting for a cooler brown. So neutralizing a level 4, level 5 with a natural underlying pigment of red, we need to use green. So this is amazing, but we want to eliminate red natural underlying pigment of a level 4. Okay, so this will create a natural neutral brown. Okay, and then why I am going to go for a ratio of 2:1 is because if I add extra of the 508 natural ash, which has got the underlying pigment of a green blue, then I will definitely create a more cooler brown. So yeah, I'm definitely adding an extra green blue, which is the 508 natural ash, to create the cool brown that we are wanting. So that is just a example of what we can expect of when formulating color. So basically what we did in this formulation that I've written down here is we have determined our client's natural level. We have determined the level that she wants to be at. We have determined that she wants to be a cool brown because her complexion is cool, and we are now going in with we have determined the strength of a developer that we're going to use, which is our 20% volume developer, which is the standard developer strength we use with our 500 series in our So Color Beauty. So yeah, and then my lightener, I am going to go in with my lightener and developer mixing ratio 1:2, with a 20 volume developer, and then we are also definitely adding the Matrix Bond Ultimate into the hair. If any of you want to know what that is, you are more than welcome to also just message me. But the Matrix Bond Ultimate is basically our product we use to add into our lightener just to prevent to help prevent extra damage for the hair. So I'm definitely always adding that into all my blonding clients. I like to also include that in a price when I do a consultation to a client. I always try to include that in a price, because I feel that is an essential treatment that every single client that wants to be blonde needs. So just also to explain the color a little bit better, we're also just going to look, please excuse this part of my paper, it was torn, so I just cut it off. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see. So as I said, the 508 NA is a green and blue underpigment, which is there. That's the green blue. And then our 507G is a yellow. So if we mix those, then we definitely just get a green. Okay, and yeah, we don't want just a natural brown, we want to go for a cooler brown, so we are definitely just going to add a little bit more of the 508 natural ash. So it's very important to, again, back to basics. If you're not sure how to formulate or determine your formula, just go back to your color wheel and your natural underlying pigments. Those are the two very important things we need to consider and keep in mind when mixing our colors. So guys, I'm going to bring my client here, and then we're going to start doing the color. I'm going to zoom in on how I section the hair, and then from there I'm just going to do the color, and then obviously afterwards I will obviously send videos and photos of how our color came out, and then we will also be adding some makeup to also just enhance my client's complexion and face shape. So yes, that's exciting. So I'll chat to you guys soon. So this is the sectioning that I have decided on for my client's hair. I have opted for triangles in the front. My client is always parting her hair on this side. I like to work with the client's natural parting, so that's why I have done my triangle on this way. And as I've mentioned, I'm going to be doing diagonal sections from this side to this side, and then on the top, to create lightness, we are doing the top little triangle section going into the back triangle section to create lightness there as well. And then we have just sectioned the back and the sides. So as you can see, our lighter bit has lifted really well. I would say it's a nice clean blonde, a level 10 clean blonde, lifted really nicely. So I'm going to go in with our Color Sync 10V and leave it on for about 10 minutes and just check on it, and then afterwards I will be toning with a 20 mils of 10A and 10 mils of silver grey in our Color Sync range. So yes, let's get started and see what our results has in store for us.